In a world where reality had become a quaint relic, humanity's greatest escape was also its greatest folly. Bright lights flickered in the virtual reality cafe, the digital dive, where patrons roamed in colorful avatars, each a fantastical manifestation of their wildest dreams. The aroma of synthetic coffee filled the air, and laughter bubbled up like a digital soda fountain, blending seamlessly with the symphony of synthesized beats. It was here, amidst the chaos of pixelated parties and neon wonder, that Max found his stage. Max, the self-proclaimed freedom fighter of the virtual realm, stood atop a makeshift podium fashioned from an oversized inflatable donut. He was dressed in a costume that would have made a 5-year-old's birthday party look subdued, a neon green bodysuit adorned with glittering stars, a flowing cape made from what looked like recycled pixelated rainbows, and a helmet that glowed like a disco ball. He was the epitome of what it meant to be a rebel, if that rebel were also a part-time entertainer in a circus, people of the virtual world. Max bellowed, his voice amplified by a quirky sound modulator he had scavenged from an old game. Today, we stand at a precipice. A reality that threatens to suffocate our freedom. He struck a dramatic pose, one arm outstretched like he was about to launch into a Shakespearean soliloquy. But just as he was about to unleash his impassioned speech about the perils of virtual escapism, an unexpected glitch coursed through the system. With a pop and a spark, Max's avatar and every other one in the cafe morphed into brightly colored llamas, complete with goofy grins and absurdly large eyes. The crowd erupted into laughter, the seriousness of his message evaporating into the digital ether. Max watched, aghast, as his audience of supposed rebels pranced around, braying and bumping into one another. A particularly enthusiastic llama spun in circles, oblivious to Max's plight, as the last shreds of his revolutionary fervor dissipated in the wave of hilarity. He felt like a jester at the court of a king who only wanted to be entertained, and therein lay the crux of his dilemma. Max wasn't just a virtual freedom fighter, he was a clown in a world that preferred laughter to liberation. With a heavy sigh, he scratched his llama neck, pondering how he could wake up a society so blissfully ensconced in its digital cocoon. Max's backstory unfolded in fragments, memories flashing like old film reels. Once upon a time, he had been just another cog in the corporate machine, slaving away at a job that drained his soul. His family had fallen victim to the reality outside the vibrant walls of virtuality, lost in the chaos of a society that had forgotten how to care. That was the moment he transformed from a mere bystander into a warrior, wielding memes and glitches as his weapons. But what had become of his fight? Every time he tried to rally the troops, they'd rather dance, laugh, and dive deeper into the rabbit hole of oblivion. He had allies, of course, Lily, his tech-savvy best friend who always seemed to have a new gadget up her sleeve, and the ragtag group of misfits that made up his resistance. But even they were beginning to question whether Max's grand vision of awakening the world was worth the effort. As the llamas continued their merriment, Max felt a tug at his digital heartstrings. His friend Lily appeared beside him, her avatar decked out in a stylish cyberpunk outfit, replete with glowing tattoos and neon hair. She flashed him a knowing smile. "Looks like your speech fell a little flat, huh?" she teased, her voice playful yet laced with genuine concern. "Flat? I'm a freaking llama," Max replied, half laughing, half exasperated. "What's the point of being a freedom fighter if no one takes me seriously? They'd rather do the Macarena than listen to the state of the world." Lily patted him on the back. "Maybe it's not about being taken seriously. Maybe it's about connecting with them. Laughter can be just as powerful as a battle cry. You know, like Trojan llamas." "Trojan llamas?" Max echoed, raising an eyebrow. Are you suggesting we invade their minds with humor? Exactly, she said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. But we need a plan. There's a big event coming up, Reality Reboot. If we hijack that, we can get your message across and maybe even make them think while they laugh. Max's eyes lit up. We could create a meme campaign that pokes fun at the absurdity of our situation. But how do we get into the event? Lily grinned. Leave that to me. I can whip up some disguises and digital props. We'll need a team, though. The resistance can be our muscle. And just like that, an absurd plan began to take shape, one that would turn their revolutionary mission into a ludicrous heist filled with pranks, giggles, and unexpected twists. As Max and Lily mapped out their strategy, the cafe buzzed around them, the dance of llamas now a joyous backdrop to their clandestine plotting. Little did they know, however, that their pursuit of humor as a weapon would lead to chaos far beyond anything they could imagine. The countdown to Reality Reboot began, and with it came the realization that perhaps, just perhaps, laughter might be the key to breaking the chains of digital escapism. The stage was set, and Max, the llama in a superhero suit, was ready to take his message to the next level. The day of the Reality Reboot event arrived, and the virtual world was abuzz with excitement. Avatars flaunted their fanciest outfits, flaunting over-the-top designs that included glittering wings, animated tails, and outfits that sparkled like the 4th of July. The main arena, a grand amphitheater made entirely of shimmering pixels, hosted thousands of users eager to witness the latest and greatest in virtual reality enhancements. Max and Lily stood at the entrance, both cloaked in outrageous disguises. Max wore a ridiculous mustache that twitched every time he moved, and Lily had adorned herself with a giant foam hat shaped like a hot dog. They made a striking pair. Indeed, subtlety is key, Max reminded himself, stifling a chuckle as he adjusted his mustache, which was starting to slip. Right, Lily said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. Because nothing screams undercover like a hot dog hat and a mustache. Hey, at least we look memorable. Max retorted, grinning despite the absurdity of it all. As they entered the amphitheater, they were greeted by the sight of Captain Corporate, the CEO of the VR company and the very embodiment of over-the-top corporate arrogance. He stood on a raised platform, decked out in a slick suit made from shifting digital patterns that shimmered like a disco ball. With his perfectly coiffed hair and an insufferable smile, he commanded the attention of the audience as he began his presentation. Welcome, esteemed users, to the dawn of a new era. Captain Corporate boomed, gesturing dramatically. Today, we unveil features that will enhance your virtual experience beyond your wildest dreams. Get ready for mandatory reality checks. The crowd erupted in cheers, their enthusiasm almost infectious, yet Max felt a knot in his stomach. Mandatory? What does that even mean? They'll be forced to see reality's ugliness, Lily whispered, her expression serious. It's like a digital slap in the face. As Captain Corporate continued his sales pitch, Max felt a surge of determination. This was it. This was the moment to act. He and Lily had a plan to hijack the presentation and inject a dose of humor into the grim realities of life outside their digital utopia. They maneuvered through the crowd, weaving past dancing avatars and distracted users. As they neared the control room at the back of the amphitheater, Max's heart raced. He could already envision the chaos that would ensue. Remember, Lily said, her voice low but urgent, we need to upload our video before they kick us out. Max nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. They reached the control room door, which was suspiciously unguarded. With a quick glance around, They slipped inside. The room was filled with monitors displaying the ongoing event, and a host of buttons and levers lined the walls. It felt like stepping into a scene from an action movie, except, of course, for the fact that Max was still wearing a mustache that looked like it belonged in a bad comedy. "Okay, you take the video upload," Lily instructed, pointing at a sleek console. "I'll handle the distractions." "Distractions? What do you have in mind?" Max asked, his brows furrowing. Lily grinned and held up a small device that resembled a remote control. "This will create an avatar disruption. Just watch." With a few taps on the device, the avatars in the amphitheater began to glitch. They morphed into all kinds of ridiculous forms: giant chickens, dancing hot dogs, inspired by Lily's hat, and even a flying pancake. The audience gasped and then erupted into laughter, completely diverting attention away from Captain Corporate's increasingly frantic attempts to regain control. "Now, Max!" Lily shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Max rushed to the console, heart pounding. He quickly uploaded their pre-recorded video, a parody of Captain Corporate's presentation, filled with over-the-top graphics, goofy animations, and a catchy tune that highlighted the absurdity of their digital existence. As he hit send, the room buzzed with energy. The video flashed onto the main screens, and the crowd turned their attention, captivated by the unexpected shift. "Look! It's the llama hero," someone shouted, recognizing Max's avatar amidst the chaos. Cheers erupted, laughter spilled over, and even Captain Corporate, now a hot dog avatar himself thanks to Lily's device, was momentarily rendered speechless. The audience, once spellbound by corporate promises, now found themselves caught up in the humor of their own absurd reality. Max felt a wave of exhilaration wash over him. The ridiculousness of it all felt strangely liberating. Maybe laughter truly could be a form of rebellion. As the video played on, it highlighted the stark contrast between their virtual lives and the struggles waiting for them outside. But instead of a heavy-handed message, it was delivered with a light touch, like a Trojan horse filled with laughter. With every chuckle, Max sensed a shift among the avatars. They began to look at one another, murmurs of recognition spreading like wildfire. For the first time in ages, they weren't just avatars, they were individuals, and they were finally connecting. When the video ended, the amphitheater erupted into applause, and Max found himself swept up in a wave of camaraderie. It was a moment of pure joy, a recognition that beneath the digital layers, they were all grappling with the same reality, one that needed to be addressed. Captain Corporate, now thoroughly flustered, attempted to regain control, but the momentum had shifted. "This is unacceptable," he shouted, adjusting his mustache, which now looked more comical than ever, but it was too late. The crowd was buzzing with newfound awareness, and Max stood tall, his llama avatar gleaming in the virtual spotlight. He could see faces lighting up with realization, conversations igniting with curiosity about the world beyond their screens. "Let's not just laugh at our problems," Max declared, voice booming over the chaos. "Let's face them together. We can change this world, both virtual and real." The cheers that followed felt like a tidal wave of hope crashing through the amphitheater. As they rallied together, Max realized that the absurdity of his journey had transformed into something greater, a movement fueled by laughter and genuine connection. As the digital crowd surged, Max exchanged a triumphant glance with Lily. They had turned the tide with humor, sparking conversations that could finally bridge the gap between virtual escapism and real-life struggles. The revolution might just be beginning. And as for Max, the llama in a superhero suit? He had finally found his voice, not just as a jester but as a true champion of change. As the night wore on, the chaos began to settle into a sense of community. Users started talking about their experiences, forming bonds that had been absent in the depths of their digital dreams. Max stood amidst them, a proud smile stretching across his llama face. The world wasn't perfect, but for the first time, it felt like it could be something better. With laughter as their battle cry, they were ready to wake up together. As the digital crowd settled, laughter still echoed through the amphitheater, transforming into a harmonious buzz of excitement. Max looked around, soaking in the energy, the joy radiating from avatars who had previously seemed lost in their own worlds. It was as if a switch had been flipped, and the spark of awareness ignited a connection among them all. Max. Lily called out, her hot dog hat bobbing as she weaved through the throng. She reached him, eyes wide with disbelief and delight. Did you see their faces? They're actually engaging. We did it. Max grinned, adrenaline surging through him. I can't believe it. They're actually thinking about the real world. He took a deep breath, the exhilaration of the moment washing over him. What's next? We need to keep this momentum going. Right. Lily replied, her fingers dancing excitedly. We need to plan a follow-up. If we can keep them talking, keep them questioning, we might actually have a chance to wake them up to reality. As they brainstormed, the amphitheater buzzed with ideas and laughter. Groups began forming, discussions springing up like wildflowers in a field. Users shared their stories, tales of struggles and dreams, realities that transcended their digital personas. The atmosphere crackled with camaraderie, and Max could hardly believe how quickly the tide had turned. In the middle of it all, Captain Corporate stood on his platform, arms crossed and fuming, but even he couldn't drown out the chorus of voices echoing through the amphitheater. Max spotted him glancing uneasily at the uproar, as though trying to calculate how to regain control over his audience. Let's confront him, Max suggested to Lily, determination lacing his words. If we can get him to acknowledge the problems he's perpetuating, maybe we can force a real change. Lily's eyes sparkled with mischief. Let's give him a taste of his own medicine. Time to turn the tables. With a nod of agreement, they pushed their way through the crowd toward the stage. Max's heart raced, anticipation and nervousness colliding in his chest. He had faced many challenges, but confronting the embodiment of corporate greed was a whole new level. As they reached the front, Max raised his hand, signaling for attention. Hey, everyone! Let's give a warm welcome to Captain Corporate. His voice boomed through the amphitheater, catching the crowd's attention. They cheered, some mocking, some genuinely curious. Captain Corporate's expression twisted into a forced smile as he surveyed the raucous crowd. What is the meaning of this disruption? He demanded, trying to project authority. Max stepped forward, mustering all the courage he had. We're here to talk about reality, Captain. Your reality checks, what are they but a way to distract us from the truth? We want to engage with the real world, not just consume it passively. Gasps echoed through the audience, and Max felt the weight of their eyes on him, a sea of hope and expectation. Captain Corporate's smile faltered, replaced by an icy glare. People enjoy the escape, he countered, voice smooth but laced with irritation. You're out of touch with what they want. They crave entertainment, not lectures. Entertainment is fine, Max shot back, his confidence growing with each word. But it shouldn't come at the cost of our humanity. We want to have fun and face our realities. Why not do both? Captain Corporate scoffed. This is a business. We cater to what people want. And what if they want more? Lily interjected, stepping beside Max. What if they want to feel something real? To take action instead of just laughing at their problems? You're stifling their potential by keeping them distracted. The crowd murmured, the energy shifting again as they absorbed Lily's words. Max felt a thrill of hope. Maybe this was their moment to push back against the corporate machine. Listen to them, Max urged, raising his voice above the murmurs. We can find a way to coexist, to create a space where laughter doesn't blind us to the world outside, where we can enjoy our digital lives while still acknowledging our struggles. The audience erupted in cheers, chanting, "More! More! More!" It felt like a collective awakening, a realization that they could demand more than mindless entertainment. Captain Corporate's eyes darted around, a mixture of disbelief and anger flickering across his face. "This is nonsense," he shouted, though his voice trembled slightly. "You're disrupting a well-oiled machine." "Maybe it's time to grease the wheels a little differently," Max replied, his heart pounding with conviction. "We're not just numbers in your system. We're people. And we deserve a voice." As the cheers crescendoed, Max felt a shift within himself, a sense of purpose emerging from the chaos. He had always been the funny guy, the one who dressed like a llama to make people laugh. But today, he was standing up not just for himself but for everyone around him. Captain Corporate stumbled back, visibly rattled by the overwhelming response. He stammered, struggling to regain his composure. But the crowd wouldn't let him. "Change the game," someone shouted from the back. "Give us choices. Make it real," another voice chimed in. Max seized the moment. "Let's create a petition. A virtual platform where we can voice our desires for both entertainment and authenticity. We can hold you accountable." The idea took root, spreading like wildfire. Users began pulling out their devices, eager to sign up, to be part of a movement that could reshape their virtual experience. Laughter mixed with shouts of encouragement, and amidst it all, Max could see the glimmer of hope in their eyes. Captain Corporate, sensing his grip slipping, raised his hands in a futile attempt to quiet the crowd. "This is absurd. You're just a bunch of avatars. You think you can change anything?" Max stepped closer, unwavering. "We may be avatars, but we're also real people behind the screens. And today, we're taking back our reality." The tide had turned, and Max felt a surge of power and unity amongst the avatars surrounding him. They were no longer just users in a virtual landscape, they were a community, ready to demand change, to merge the joys of digital life with the complexities of the world beyond the screen. As cheers filled the air, Max caught Lily's eye, and they shared a smile. This was just the beginning, a revolution rooted in laughter and understanding, bridging the gap between their digital lives and the harshness of reality. The future lay ahead, bright and filled with possibility. The event concluded with Max and Lily rallying the crowd, encouraging everyone to share their thoughts and experiences on the newly formed platform. As the avatars dispersed, their laughter and chatter resonated like a symphony of hope. And so, in the heart of a digital revolution, Max embraced his role not just as a jester but as a champion for change. They had ignited a movement, a spark that would reach beyond the confines of their virtual sanctuary and into the real world, where struggles awaited but where laughter could also be a powerful force for transformation. As they exited the amphitheater, Lily nudged Max playfully. "So, Llama Hero, what's next on your agenda?" Max chuckled, the thrill of victory still buzzing in his veins. "Next, we build on this momentum. We create workshops, gatherings, maybe even an annual festival celebrating both our virtual lives and the realities we face. We make it fun and impactful." Lily grinned widely. And we keep dressing like ridiculous versions of ourselves, right? Just to keep the spirit alive? Absolutely. Max laughed. If we're going to change the world, we might as well do it with style and a sense of humor. They walked into the digital sunset, avatars shimmering against the vibrant backdrop, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with laughter, courage, and a community that had found its voice.